Good morning, everyone. Keith Tebow at FRCmedia. Happy Thursday, and thank you for joining us as we provide you with information on how the city is dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. And let's get some updated information right now, featuring the mayor of the city of Fall River. We bring in Mayor Paul Coogan. Mayor, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Keith. How are you? Fine.
I'm doing well. Let's start off. We talk a lot about numbers, and the numbers in Fall River continue to rise, unfortunately, in terms of the number of cases here in Fall River. There have been, I believe, over 20 deaths in Bristol County. Have any of those been involving any Fall River residents at all, as far as you know?
Not yet. As far as I know, I just left the Board of Health downstairs. It's on the fourth floor. I checked with them on the way up, and I check with them every morning. And as of this time, no.
You are, I know, in continual conversation with local hospitals. There's a lot that we hear nationally and statewide around modeling in terms of, flattening the curve and how, those that are very proficient with data are trying to figure out when that will take place. Does the state share any data that's actually more localized, maybe even to the south coast of Bristol County in terms of the surge? I know that, there was a report in the paper this week that, the local hospitals are starting to see an uptick. Are you seeing anything locally in terms of, the numbers and how and when that may flatten it all?
No, I mean, we are seeing we saw a jump last week. I think it went up like 15 in one day, and now we're averaging around 4 or 5. But I do believe there's going to be an uptick coming from what they've told us, but that's going to be a statewide indication. It's not, I've not received anything specifically from the South Coast region, although the hospitals did talk about it in terms of the 15th to the 17th of April. So they may have more data than I do, but they were speaking about it at our meeting the other morning.
Right. Some good news this week. Earlier this week, the National Guard dropped off some protective personal equipment to the city that will help our public safety personnel. How well needed was that? And, how can we thank the National Guard for coming through?
Yes, that was what Richard Aguiar always refers to as MEMA. They unloaded it yesterday up at the fire department headquarters. It was masks, it was gowns, it was any kind of protective gear, gloves, and we have a good load. But the way this is going, we could always use more. I get calls regularly from nursing homes about looking for masks, gloves. We gave them the other day, but we're trying to still get more masks. It seems like masks are big things, and those bottles of the wipes, we're still short on those. But I think as far as protective gear related to masks and gloves and some gowns, we're getting a little bit up right now, but any minute, again, that could change.
And you're also getting some donations, I believe, from the private sector. I know a couple of weeks ago, the city announced the donations of PPE are being accepted. Has that been working out fairly well?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, I believe it was last week, Gladding Hearn is making another batch of hand sanitizer for us. Clearview Manufacturing is pumping out the masks. I think Merrill Manufacturing is now making gowns for the state. Lieutenant Governor asked me about that the other day. So I believe a lot of the local industries are definitely picking up some slack here, and hopefully they can till we ride this out.
Another piece of news this week, a lot of our neighboring communities, Rhode Island, the city of Providence, they appear to be having some more issues in terms of people still congregating, even though, people are being asked to stay at home. In some of our outlying areas, there's still problems with congregating. I believe the city of Providence even closed their parks yesterday. Are there any reports of any problems here in Fall River of people still congregating in large numbers?
I did get a call the other day that Bicentennial Park had a lot of people in it, but that was a sunny day, and I did not get down there to see it. My wife and I walked the boardwalk the other day. There were people in the park, but they were not congregating together. They were walking in twos. They were walking in ones. We went over to UMass Dartmouth to take a walk, and it was the same kind of setup. 2 people walking, one behind the other, some walking together. But I'm assuming that that's mostly families just trying to get some fresh air and take a walk. I have not received any reports of any wide-scale congregating in groups around the city, I do hear complaints about there's a lot of people here, but as far as them being in a cluster, I've not heard that.
In terms of public safety personnel, I've asked you this every week. How are they handling the situations that they're facing, and are there any concerns that you have in terms of their safety as we move forward?
Well, every time our guys go out, you have concerns for their safety, so that's a given. But I have not heard any gaps that we have right now. I believe our public safety people, police, fire, and EMTs are all operating at an extremely high level to make sure that if people need medical treatment or people need the police to report a crime or they just need some support, they're going out and doing their jobs. And that's what public safety is all about, making sure the public is safe and they feel confident talking to people. I know like I said, you look at the fire, the police, the EMTs, they're all carrying a very, very heavy weight in this battle, and they're our frontline guys. And as far as I'm concerned, they're doing an excellent job.
Also, this week, Mayor, you announced that anyone who may have some free time and willing to volunteer their services, those volunteers will be helpful. Anything in particular that any organizations or the city is looking for in terms of volunteers in this effort?
Well, we're trying to make sure that I just got off the phone with the Housing Authority a little while ago, the chairman up there, making sure that all of our seniors have ample food, making sure that I just left the Fall River Food Pantry. We filled up about, I don't know, 25, 30 bags to get out to people that need some support. We also bring in cases of food up to one of the congregating spots for our homeless population. They're on South Main Street and they constantly visit there. So we're trying to make sure they're staying fed. And that's what we're doing. We're out helping the community. As far as volunteers, I think as this picks up, we may need some more support. So we just threw out a blanket request, and we're taking the names and numbers and ways to contact them and see if they want to pitch in when we need some help. I would like to still see some of the areas getting cleaned up. People are asking me why the street sweepers are still out there, but people are just not being considerate in some cases where they just toss the gloves out the window or toss the mask. We don't need that. Take them home, bag them, put them in your trash, but don't just throw them out on the streets. You have kids out there, taking a walk with their family and they're walking through that. It's just not appropriate. We need your help at every level of government here. Just clean up for yourself, and we'll try to take care of the big stuff.
That raises a good point. We're coming to a time of the year where weather will be a lot better. People are going out more, but is the city still moving forward with a lot of its efforts? I know it was funny. I remember seeing a press release from your office about yard waste pickup, and that seems so foreign to a lot of people now because of what we're dealing with. But is the city still moving forward with a lot of these initiatives as we head into the warmer months?
No, yard waste is being picked up right now. I want people in their yards raking, planting seeds, doing whatever you can do to stay home and take care of your property. That's absolutely great stuff, and it occupies your time, and you're doing something productive. So we're not against that. We just want people, and even if you take a walk, we're not against that. But don't be walking in groups. Make sure you keep social distance. Wash your hands when you're done. Stay away from strangers, and we'll get through this. But again, a lot of the initiatives, like I said, the street sweepers are out there. That's a gentleman riding around alone in a truck, going up and down the streets. We have a couple of businesses we want to talk to about some of the litter again. But maybe that's what we'll end up doing with some of these volunteers, taking a little crew, separating people and letting them clean up areas. We'll see.
Is the city still equally involved in helping some of these businesses who have been impacted by being shut down, connect those services with the federal program? It's been about a week now since
Right.
those loans have been available. What role is the city playing or continues to play in this effort?
We have our own little loan program in-house that's going to be going out. We've got a few applicants already. I mean, we have a few applicants processed. The SBA loans that you're referring to, the federal one, we'll probably have a little press release out a little later today, giving people some guidance on that. It's up on the website now. If you go to the coronavirus on the Fall River website and click down for small business support, the application process is right there. It's pretty basic. It's going to take a little bit of work. It's going to take a little bit of documents. But if people remember, if they do what they're saying to get the loan at the end of the year, these loans will be forgiven. So you have an opportunity to get some money to keep your business going, to keep your staff there, buy some supplies, give the economy a bump. And at the end of the year, if you do what you say you're going to do, a lot of these, mostly all of these loans will be forgiven. So we are encouraging people to go to the City of Fall River website, coronavirus, and go to those links. You have a problem, we have people here that can help you, and we'll put you in contact with the people that know the answers, hopefully. And let's see if we can get some money in Fall River here to keep the economy going.
Speaking of money, I seem to ask you this every week when we talk. There was an article in the paper this week about the city still moving forward on its fiscal 2021 budget. I know acting city administrator Mary Sahadi is working hard on that. How difficult is it to try to work some of these projections, not knowing what may happen over the next few months, weeks, days, even?
It's obviously a little more difficult than a normal year. Projections that looked like they were well on their way to coming true have gotten washed to the wayside with the decreased revenue coming into the cities. We're trying to work with people to the best of our ability to stretch out their payments a little bit. If they're stuck, we're going to try to make sure that they get through this the same as we're doing. We're all trying to work together, so we'll help them, but they got to be in touch with us. The overall budget picture, we sat down the other day for a while, and I think we can fulfill our responsibilities of submitting a balanced budget to the council by May 15th, which is what we're obligated to do. And hopefully we can adjust it as we go down the road from there with additional supports from the state and the federal government. We're going to do what we have to do, and we're looking to see where it ends up. We don't have all the answers right now, and it's tough to do a budget when you don't have the answers or the projections right in front of you.
All right, Mayor, I appreciate your time. Please remain safe, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Keith.
Again, I want to thank you all for joining us today. We invite you to continue to tune in to our website at FRmedia.org for any information about what's happening here in the city of Fall River around COVID-19. Also, check out our website in terms of some of our online programs of Channel 95. We have a lot of programs that are currently available for you that sort of will take your mind off a little bit of COVID-19. So we ask you to continue to join us on our website at frmedia.org. So for all of us here at FRC Media, I'm Keith Tebow. Thank you for joining us today, and we will talk again soon.